Hello everyone. I, Assistant Professor Abhigna Vaishnav from LJ Integrated MBA, once again welcome you all to the video lecture series for the subject Advanced Marketing Management for Semester 5 Integrated MBA. Well, in the first video lecture, we studied value chain analysis and core competencies, which is very important for the business. In this video lecture, we will be studying the strategic planning process, the implementation and control part. Well, what is the need for studying this topic? Well, marketing is something. Never treat marketing as an expense. Treat marketing as an investment. So as a marketer, treat your business as an investment portfolio. Assess your business position and strategies in accordance with the market growth rate and accordingly make strategies for the same. Hence, we have got three key areas: planning, implementing and controlling at four different levels: corporate, division, business and product level. At corporate level, the decisions are being made for resource allocation, fund allocation for each division, which businesses to carry out and which to not. At division level, the fund and resources allocation for each businesses are carrying out. At business level, the planning is being done for the future course of action for the success ratio. And at the product level, the marketing plan is framed for the success of product and services of the business. Then comes the implementation and control part. First, we'll study the corporate headquarters planning activities. Well, corporate headquarters, be it centralized or decentralized, decides the main framework under which each division and business function. We have got 4 points under this. Define your statements, mission statements very clearly. Establish strategic business units. Assign each strategic business unit the resources that it requires and assess the growth opportunities. First, we'll see the mission part. Well, mission is something which works under the vision, the impossible dream of a business, which may change in between as well. If I give you an example of Amazon company, earlier the mission statement of Amazon was that it was world's largest online bookseller. Then as it introduced new services in its umbrella, the mission statement changed. Now it is world's largest online seller as far as the online market is concerned. If we see the mission part, focus is limited on number of goals. It stresses major on policies and values. It defines major competitive spheres, be it industry scope, product scope, market scope or your target market scope. It should be clear, it should have the long-term view, should be memorable and meaningful as well. Second is establish strategic business units. Strategic business unit is a single business. It is having its separate competitors and a marketer needs to decide a separate strategy for the same. Now, to analyze the portfolio of each strategic business units, one must consider the customer groups, customer needs and the technology part. Because nowadays as a marketer, you need to shift your gear from product defined market to market defined. If I can give you example of a Coca-Cola company, it is there in the business not as a cola beverage. It is there in the business for quenching our thirst. This is the difference between product defined and market defined concept. Now to define this portfolio, we've got two models, BCG matrix and GE approach. Then comes our assigning resources to each SBUs, and later on we'll be studying the assessing growth opportunities for each strategic business units. First, we'll study the BCG matrix. Well, for manufacturing business, it is very functional to have a prior understanding of the market position of their products. Besides knowing which products to promote and which to not, you should have a model on hand, and the American Boston Consulting Group developed the same on two parameters, the relative market share and the market growth potential. This is the BCG matrix. It looks like, if you can see on the vertical axis, the market growth rate has been measured on high and low scale, and on a horizontal axis, the relative market share has been measured again on high and low scale. If you can see, the words written are question mark, star, dog and cash cow. What do you mean by question mark? It is still a big question what the products are going to be. And often it is concerned for the product that is to be introduced and it is known with a very small market share. So it is still uncertain whether it can become a star or a cash cow. Star. The market share of the product grows like a rising star. With targeted investments such as innovations and adjustments, the lead in the market is maintained. That is a star for you. Cash cow. The product is a milky cow and a big money is made from this. If you can utilize that, you can win the market and that can become a star. Dogs. Where this is a situation wherein your market growth rate is also low as well as your relative market share is also low. So you need to decide whether to keep the business alive or not. Now, if you can see the BCG matrix evaluation. Now, the most ideal development path of a product is that a question mark to star and a cash cow. The route to dog should be postponed as long as possible. Some products remain stuck as a question mark and some become dogs at a later stage. This is a costly affair for a business as investments that have been made in the product and in the promotion around. However, for the sake of continuity of the cash cows, the stars and dogs are also necessary. The strategic choices. Now, well, in assessing the resources and assigning resources to each SBUs, the strategies that we have is to build strategy, create a new brand and a new target audience by means of a question mark, hold strategy, maintain its success and benefit from market growth by means of star, harvest strategy, make as much as money as possible by the means of cash cow, and divest strategy, abandon the investment in the product by means of dog. These decisions you need to. Well, there are some criticism on the BCG matrix as well. The market share of the matrix does not guarantee profitability. The BCG matrix does not consider decreasing markets enough. Cash cows could disappear without reason. Market growth is treated as a given, whereas a business could give the market an incentive. Both axes have been assigned the same value. The coherence as regards content between products and product groups is not incorporated. The BCG matrix does not show what the competition is doing. The BCG matrix also may oversimplify the assessments of the facts. Hence, we've got another model, that is GE approach. Well, as a marketer, one cannot afford only growth share market. It needs to have certain more characteristics and factors for assessment as well. For that, GE approach tells about the business unit strength and market attractiveness. It measures both. If you can see on the diagram, on vertical axis the attractiveness has been measured on high, medium, low scale, and on horizontal axis the business unit strength is measured on high, medium and low scale. Now the words that are written are: invest means to grow. Growth is facilitated by expanding the market or making investments. Hold or protect. By making careful investments, the current market is consolidated. Harvest or sell. No extra investments but mainly focusing on maximizing returns. Now if you can see, the upper left 3 cells defines that the business is doing well, you have a bright future on hand. The diagonal cells represents that you need to approach the wait strategy to protect your interest, and the lower right cells depicts that it is time for you to think whether to harvest or sell your business. The comparison of GE matrix and the BCG matrix. The GE McKinsey matrix does not only consider growth, it mainly considers market attractiveness as well. In addition to market share, the GE McKinsey matrix also considers the strength of a business, and instead of the 4 cells that are created in the BCG matrix, the GE McKinsey matrix creates 9 cells. Now, up till now, we are done with the mission statements, establishing strategic business units, and assigning resources to each SBUs. What is left is assessing the growth opportunities. Now, as a marketer, you need to show the projected sales as well as the expected sales as well. If there is a huge gap in between, this is known as a strategic gap. To bridge this gap, one should have the three strategies, that is intensive growth, integrative growth, and diversification growth. What do you mean by intensive growth? Intensive growth, it is to identify the strength of a business, whether to stay in the market with the same product or not. Integrative growth, you need to identify the opportunities related to your product and market. And diversification growth means you need to identify opportunities which are not related to your area. Well, by studying this, you should be able to decide whether to go for market penetration, means being in the same market with the same product, whether to go for product development strategies, being in the same market, launching the new product, whether to go for market development strategies, launching your current product in the new market, and whether to opt for diversification strategies, that is coming up with new products in a completely new market. Well, this is the end of our second video lecture. The references that I have taken for this video is from Marketing Management book by Kotler, Kaler, Koshy and Jha, the 14th and the 11th edition, which is having South Asian perspective. That just does it from my side. Thank you very much. Keep learning.